Hey guys, and welcome to my channel BitGlenn. My name's Glenn and I like to share with you what I learn in the world of cryptocurrency as I go through it. So last night I'd done a really cool interview with Crypto Coffee and we talked all things Hex and Ethereum and Bitcoin and MCO and just generally the crypto space. Unfortunately my streaming software let me down last night and there was an issue with the sound, and then the actual stream just come to a full stop my end, so I had to delete it off my channel just because I felt like it wasn't good enough. I reached out to Crypto Coffee if he could send me a copy of his recording of the session, and he's kindly done that for me, so I'm going to upload this here in this video so you can watch the whole thing from start to finish without any audio issues. So please smash the like button if you want to see more BitGlenn interviews with other YouTubers. I've reached out to a couple recently and asked them if they'd like to have a chat with me, so I need to figure out the software side of things if I want to improve my interview technique. But smash the like button if you want to see more of that. Also click the subscribe button if you're new to this channel, and I'll see you on the next video from myself. But enjoy the conversation with me and Crypto Coffee.
Hello. What's going on, everybody? Matt here from Crypto Coffee, and today I'm joined by BitGlenn. BitGlenn's got a YouTube channel. You want to tell them who you are?
Yeah, my name's BitGlenn. I have a small YouTube channel that I started back in September 2017. So I've been chatting all things crypto for 2.5-3 years now, and just recently dabbled into Hex. Found Crypto Coffee's channel, found his conversations quite interesting, so I reached out to him and asked him if he'd like to do a live chat with me, which he kindly said yes.
That's right. Yeah, not much else to do these days than talk about Hex.
How you finding?
I'm a full-blown addict at this point.
How you finding the lockdown?
You know, I didn't really mind it for the first 2 months. Has it been? I think it's only been 2 months, as a matter of fact. But I didn't mind it for maybe the first 6 weeks, and now it's kind of starting to get to me. So I wouldn't mind starting to release and open things back up. Maybe not right away, but near the end of June, potentially, if things are looking a little better. I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest. I'm a people person. I like to be outside.
If you don't mind me asking, whereabouts in the States are you based?
Yes, I'm from Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. I'm
planning on doing a road trip to America. It was meant to be in September, but who knows now. Me and a mate, we were going to fly to New York and then drive all the way to LA via Route 66. I know it's a bit cliche.
Not at all. People in America probably haven't done that. I think they should. Everybody should try that. I've always wanted to. Yeah,
no, I thought it'd be. I really like America. I've been a couple of times before. I've been Florida with the family and that, but I actually wanted to sort of see, I don't know, real America, if you like. So yeah, but I don't know now. Obviously, lots of states are open, shut, lockdown. I don't know. Your country's run as like 50 small countries.
Yeah, we don't really can't really agree on anything, but so yeah, you'll have to be weaving in and out of states depending on which ones are still in quarantine. But no, it's a good idea. You know, I've always wanted to take a little road trip myself, East Coast to West Coast. It's like, I don't know how long the drive is. I would guess like 50 hours driving. Obviously, you'd probably stop. Definitely stop by Chicago if you can. So
I'd love to actually go to Chicago. We had loads planned actually, but trying to fit it all in within. We were going to go for 3 weeks, and I sort of went on Google Maps and planned where I would go. But then you start thinking, I'd have to drive for 8 hours straight in that stint to get to that state, and then I'd have to do 6 hours, and then you think, do I want to do that?
Yeah,
but. You know, it's just me and a mate, so like, yeah, I'd be up for it. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But so you've been in crypto since 2016?
15, yeah. So
15.
Five years, man. Time flies.
So what's your story with obviously Bitcoin and stuff? Like, did you buy a load? Are you a wow now at this point?
Oh, man, I wish I could say that. Might not be making YouTube videos if I was, but
I
want
said
a
to
little bit.
someone the other day, like
Yeah.
the badge of honor in the world of crypto, I've noticed every live stream I've ever watched, every conversation, it always starts with, when did you get into crypto and when did you buy Bitcoin? And that seems to be the badge of honor, like how long you've been in it.
Yeah. I mean, there's only been 10 years, so it's kind of like, what class are you in? It's
Yeah.
almost like a graduating class. But 2015, I saw Poloniex, and I have kind of a tech background, engineering degree. My first job was at a finance company. And so it was kind of natural that I just kind of found Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency world because I was looking for ways to invest my money, looking for ways to prepare for my future, and quite frankly, just looking for a way out of the rat race and the 9 to 5. So I'm tired of being a wage slave, and definitely don't want to do that for the rest of my life.
A wage
So
slave.
that's right, an indentured servant, maybe. But yeah, it's not bad. I just think that there's other things I want to do, and this seems like a great way out. Anyway, got wrecked on Poloniex, probably lost more Bitcoin than I care to admit. But at the time, it was only, the equivalent of like several $1,000s worth of Bitcoin, which today would have been an ungodly amount. But I think I bought my first Bitcoin at 250-ish, 200-ish. So early 2015, rode the bull market all the way up and rode it most of the way down. Listened to different people throughout the years. Richard Hart primarily, Tone Vays, unfortunately. And Richard was able to, probably give the best advice that I've ever heard in crypto. And so I kind of stuck with him and his videos. Definitely not agreeing on everything. Obviously, you should never just blindly follow anybody, but he seems to make the most sense and be the most honest in a world where the bar is pretty low, and he's a pretty smart guy. So he was able to get me out of the bear market a little bit earlier than, selling at the bottom. And I've been super interested in hacks ever since then. And at this point, I feel like it's all I really talk about. So I'm a Bitcoin, not OG. I've been around, but I am proud to be a Hex OG. And so I feel like I can finally start over, have my own little thing now. And that's where I'm at.
You've had your second chance in life.
Yeah. Hex is all about second chances. But
when did you get into Hex then? When was your first Hex? Would you like there day one?
Yeah, so Richard warned everybody not to FOMO in on day one. He said, not directly.
Yeah, I saw that in one of his live chats. He sort of said, like, I think everyone's going to bundle in day one. And I thought that was quite, fair play to him for saying that.
Yeah, and he was right. And people did it anyway. I mean, he even tried to double the amount of hacks available on day one. So there's 1 billion on day one.
Yeah.
The 500.
I wondered why that was actually.
It was to try to account for the over FOMO, but still couldn't manage to do it, which is kind of expected, and there's really no way around it. So I sat out day one, but it was really, really hard for me to sit out day one because I didn't know what was going on. I just wanted hacks. So I bought a pretty large amount on day two and kind of dollar cost averaged after that. So I definitely over FOMO'd on day two. Wish I didn't buy as much and spread it out a little bit more equally. But I'm happy with my stack, and I'm continuing to buy. I mean, this is a great dip we got here, so might continue to buy a little bit more on this dip. Actually, today, the price just reached the day one over FOMO price. So 47,000 hex per ETH was day one, and we just got back to that level. So this might be the last time we ever touch the day one prices, guys. So
can you still hear me okay? Because I went live on my stream, but everyone was saying, "Oh, we can hear you, Glenn, but we can't hear Crypto Coffee." So they said, "Unplug your earphones."
You might need to create an audio output that has.
Oh, they're saying they can hear you now. So
okay, never mind.
I needed to play. I just thought, as long as it's not creating a loop or something your end.
Oh yeah, it's all good over here.
So yeah, everyone's just going to watch me talking to myself for the first 10 minutes of this live stream. So yeah, again, brilliant content from BitGlenn. So you got in day one with Hex, and what's been your strategy with Hex? Are you sort of
I'm trying to
ETH averaging price or like dollar cost averaging in, or did you just buy one load at the beginning and that's it? You're just sitting back.
So I bought kind of a semi big load on day 2, on day 1. And then I kind of dollar cost averaged in over the first month or so. And at this point, I'm just buying small amounts with whatever money I can save from the day job. But essentially, I think the majority of my stack is accounted for, and I feel pretty comfortable with where I'm at. So I'm going to ride it out and just see what happens. I mean, I'm trying to do it the right way. So I'm trying to stake it for the long term. To me, that's anywhere from 2 years to 10 years. So I'm expecting to try to play this the right way. And, you know, don't you wish you would have held your Bitcoin for 10 years? I mean, I do. I didn't even buy it 10 years ago, but I wish I had held it for 5 even. So it's nice because staking, it makes it idiot proof. So people like me can't fuck themselves over by trading. So it takes your coins out of the system and it gives you a nice little security blanket to just sit back and watch the market. I mean, granted, yeah, you can opt out anytime. You can emergency unstake, but it really makes it a lot easier to hold. That's kind of what I love about it.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you my hex journey. I've been watching Richard Hart's videos pretty much since I got into doing crypto YouTube. He was one of the first people I went to. Obviously, he was a Bitcoin maximalist, and I used to really respect, obviously, everything that he said, the way he articulated himself. You can clearly tell he has a lot of knowledge of the industry, the code, the marketing side of it. And I really like that. And when he done a video where he basically said, right, Bitcoin's just dropped in price. Now this is it now. We're in it for probably for the next 4 years. And I remember doing a video about that, saying, what does everyone think about Richard Hart's comments about 4-year bear cycle? And here we are, sort of like 2.5 years later.
Yeah.
And we're still like not even at 50% of where we was at when he when he said that at the time. Yeah. So yeah, fair play to the guy. Everything he says tends to sort of come true at some point or another. So he's not to be
he's not perfect, right? But
I'm not saying he's some sort of liar or something.
Yeah.
But, I've listened to a lot of people. I was watching a YouTube, a famous YouTuber now. I won't mention his name, and he was basically saying, "Yeah, I'm 40% certain this will happen," and I'm, but then this might happen, and da-da-da. Whereas Richard Hart is very like, "This is going to happen. This is what people want. This is what," and when he said that, I thought, "Oh no, I think Bitcoin's going to go up," and I didn't believe him then, but here we are later. And when he came out and said about the hex, I thought, "Oh no, he's selling out." You know, like I really had that feeling. I thought, "Oh no, here's someone that I honestly really enjoyed watching. I loved his points of view. I loved his long chats." And then, now he's talking about this, like, if you can't beat him, join him type thing. And then I just switched off. I switched off and I wasn't really that interested. And then when he done a live chat with Tone Vase, I think at some conference thing, I watched that and he was talking, and the speed he was trying to get it all out, because I think they were timing them, like how long they had to respond. And the stuff he was coming out with, I thought, God, he really knows his stuff. Like, he's really put everything into this. And then I looked into the Hex platform and I left it. I thought, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to wait until it goes down, which it did at the beginning. And I got in at 0.19, or what it'd be 0.0019, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. So I got quite a bit, for the ETH that I put in, and I put in about 8 Ethereum. I put in 4 one day and 4 another day. And I didn't talk about it. I didn't mention it in my Telegram group chat. I didn't do any YouTube videos about it, because my main concern was, if I buy into a project, I want to be able to get out of it whenever I want, not when someone else says that I can get out, or I have to take some crappy token in replacement of something. So I actually used Uniswap, converted Hex into Ethereum, sent Ethereum to Coinbase, and cashed out. And the money was in my account within 10 minutes. So I thought, right, I can get into this and I can get out whenever I want.
Mhm.
Right, what's the catch? You know, and I was looking into it, and then I just watched tons and tons of Richard Hart videos, him talking about it. And the more I listen to him talk about it, the more I'm sold on it. You know, like
Yeah.
everything he says adds up, it makes sense. But then obviously you got this other side where everyone's just it's a scam. And that's it. Richard Hart's going to make money out of it. It's a scam.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of I was trying to talk to someone the other day who's in the live chat now. I was in the middle, and I'm sort of like, I don't want to promote it too much where like, you know, like I'm sort of like selling my soul, like we said earlier, like for Hex.
Right.
But then also I am really excited, and I actually find it really interesting, and it's doing something different. So I'm sort of like, I'm in this like, do I talk about it? Do I not talk about it? Do I promote it? Do I not promote it? What if something happens to it later on? Am I going to be caught in the crosshairs because I was, you know, like you look at Trevon James and all of those where they were doing referral links and everything like that, and they were to go to court. I'm like, oh well, that happened to me, and you know, so I really waited. I waited about 10 days to 2 weeks before I mentioned it on any video, and then once I mentioned it, I was like, look, I'm really excited by this, and I tell everyone, if you don't like it, don't put any money into it. Don't invest any amount of money that you're willing to wake up and think, oh, that's gone to zero. That's the amount of money that you should be playing about with. Don't put anything more into it. So I try and be sensible. Even when you go into the Hex Telegram group chat, I think you're in there as well. And people start talking about it going to $56 and shit like that. You know, I think, what are these people on? Like, this is the XRP.
Well, every crypto's got their echo chamber, right? And so Hex is my favorite echo chamber in the game. I mean, it's the most bullish echo chamber around. And that's all these Telegram groups are for. I mean, they're to pump the coin. I mean, you don't want people in there talking bad stuff. And if you do, I mean, there's other groups that you can go to. You can go to Hex Bear or Hex FUD or whatever. And there's other groups where you can air your grievances about the project, which is one of the great things. But I totally get the fact of not wanting to, you know, sell out your reputation. I mean, nobody wants to be associated with something that, you know, could get them in trouble and all that. And I always
I don't think that I'm worried about me getting in trouble, because we haven't had a precedent for that in the UK. I think you guys in America are probably more prone to it than anyone else. But for me, it's more like, I started this YouTube channel, as we were just chatting before we went live. I started this YouTube channel, and over the course of getting my, say, first 1,000 subscribers, out of those 1,000, and you'll probably find this as well, out of those 1,000, probably 10% of them probably actually reach out and want to communicate with you, other than through like live videos. And then I created the Telegram group chat, and we have about 100, 150 of us regularly over the last couple of years, and we all chat crypto. And for me, it's like, I don't want to let them down. They're probably like the most important people in my cryptocurrency life, if you like. You know, like my wife and kids, they don't know anything what I'm doing. I'm actually in a shed right now. I'm at the end of the garden. They have no idea what I'm doing here.
It's a good looking shed.
Yeah, I've just done it up actually.
Nice.
But for me, it's like, you know, I got wrapped up in the whole ICO phase when that all. I don't know if you.
Me too.
Yeah,
lost a lot, made a lot.
I actually started off with, I was all about mining. I actually got some miners in here. We was mining, you know, Zcash and whatever other ones out there, and I had the Z9s. I had what was the other one? I had the Z9 minis, and then I was actually looking at cloud mining. So I looked at Hashflare, Genesis mining, and I think they're still paying out apparently these days, but I don't know how.
It never works from what I hear. It's always a better deal just to buy the token. Or if you're going to go mining, go full.
I learned this really quick. Like, you know, but the trouble is that people wanted that content. You know, like people were messaging me. Like I was saying, I did a spreadsheet and I was sharing it with everyone. I share everything with all my guys.
Okay.
You know, I share my screen, I share my spreadsheets, everything that I'm investing in. And I said to him, like, soon as the amount of Bitcoin that I accumulate drops below this a month, I'm selling the machines, because then I break even. And they were like, no, don't keep at it. What if Bitcoin goes on a bull run? What if this happens? What if that? And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense. I can't spend money every month on nothing. I might as well just buy the tokens and hope that it does go up, you know? And that actually, I got a bit of backlash for that. A lot of people were like, oh no, you're giving up on mining, and you know, you should help decentralize the system and bloody blah, all that sort of stuff, you know. And I went into an ICO called Envian, which was a mining ICO. So they said, we're going to create these massive containers with mining, and it's going to be optimized with GPUs, and all the procedures like are going to go towards the mining equipment, and then we're going to share all the profits out. And I talked about it in my live videos, and literally the day they were meant to go live, articles came out, the CEOs run off with the tokens, and then it was like, then they split it into 2 tokens, and if you want, then there was like a divide between people. And I just said, as soon as I heard it, I was like, everyone sell your tokens, get out of this shit. It's shit. Like it's obviously a scam. So I told everyone straight off the bat. And
well, that reminds me of have you heard of Ronnie Moas? Ronnie Moas. He's, I guess, American, but he was recommending, and he's a Wall Street guy, trader or whatever, and apparently that's where his credibility comes from. Apparently, but little did I know that that kind of knowledge does not translate over to crypto very well. So this guy, Ronnie Moas, he had an email list where essentially he thought he was hot shit and basically recommended a bunch of coins in 2017. Lost a lot of people a lot of money, but one of the main tokens that he recommended was called DIG, D-I-G. Now I was on his mailing list.
Yeah,
because they did a little bit of alleged mining stuff as well. They had apparently 3 different mining centers, and they were going to mine like 4 or 5 different tokens, and it was going to be backed by gold or something like that. And it was just it was all smoke and mirrors, literally. None of the stuff was even real. This guy Ronnie kind of lost his mind. He started sending out these weird emails and talking about, you know, dark stuff, and it was kind of sad to see someone just kind of lose their mind and their reputation on something like that. And
yeah, I mean, I definitely felt like that. I felt like I'd let everyone down. I felt like, you know, I was stupid. I was even telling friends, you know, like, so this wasn't just me shit. I mean, there wasn't even a referral program. I weren't earning anything out of it. It was just, I was like, mining's the future. You know, if you're in with the mining, you're always going to be accumulating the coins. You're always going to have something coming in. If the price of it goes up, you're winning both ways, you know? So that was my goal. And that turned out, and I actually broke out of that even because I got involved in the ICO. It was meant to be $1 was 1 token. But if you got in at an early stage, you got them for like 80 cents. By the time I'd sold them on an exchange, it was like 75 cents I sold all my tokens for. So I only lost like a very small amount of money. But obviously everyone, I was telling people, even my friends, I was saying, sell this shit. And they were saying, no, I'll see what happens with it. You know, and I'm like, no, I'm telling you, the CEO's doing the runner.
Well, listen, man, it takes a lot of balls to come back from that and to, you know, admit you're wrong and keep doing what you're doing. So props to you. I mean, that's not easy. I did some similar stuff. I wasn't on YouTube, but I would tell people via just word of mouth what I was investing in, and a couple of my friends, they lost much more than I did. So I know it feels like shit. Absolutely. But I can't imagine how many, you know, followers you had and all that. So I mean, at least you're still here. You know, I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah, I mean, I did a video saying, look, I'm sorry to anyone who invested in Envy and, you know, and all that. Yeah. And everyone was like, Glenn, it's not your fault. You know, we all knew what we were signing up for. But I just felt this, like, I think being on YouTube, especially when people start to like you, you feel like there's this pressure on you to like well, I don't know about you, you know, there's clearly people in this space. They don't care. They don't care. They just want to sell, referral link. And look what I'm doing today, you know. And I used to watch Crypto Nick and that when I first got into, and Trevon James. And it was like, today I'm going to do another BitConnect deposit and all that. And I was like, they're just showing you what to do repeatedly every day. Every day it was the same video you were watching. And he was even talking in the same tone, and he was going, hey guys, it's Crypto Nick. Today we're going to make another deposit on BitConnect. you know.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
it was almost like brainwashing you. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, this guy's clearly like, he's just doing the same thing every day so that new people keep watching his content. Oh yeah, I'll make a deposit as well. And that's what I'm trying to steer clear of with Hex. I'm sort of like saying, look, I'm really excited about it. I saw this, I've read this. I think this about Uniswap. I think that about the AA platform, whatever. And but then like not just talking about Hex.
Yeah, totally. And I get that. And that's why it seems a little off-putting when people find my channel and they say, oh, all he's talked about for the past 10 videos is Hex. It's going to be another Trayvon James or another Carlos Matos or whatever. And I hope not. I hope not. But I do try to disclaim anybody, never invest more than you're willing to lose and think for yourself. So I'm trying to be different in regards to how I treat the people I'm talking to by just hoping that they have some kind of self accountability. And I kind of have absolved myself of any granted, it's not like Hex has really crashed at all, so I can't imagine how I would feel if it did, but I feel so confident in this project that the more I think about it, the more I want to double down on it, which is weird because I've seen a lot of scams, and the deeper you look, the more unlikely it becomes that Hex becomes just another one of those things. And again, anyone listening, I'm not telling you to go run out and sell your house for Hex, but I'm all in, and you can watch me win it all, lose it all. It's just entertainment value. Okay. And it's kind of just like a diary of what I'm thinking at the time. So I'm kind of trying to
it's having that thin line, isn't it? Of you want to talk about the thing you're excited about, but you also don't want to hype people up into making, because there are people that will watch content and they will think, oh, Glenn's made, or Crypto Coffee's made money doing this. Oh, I'm going to sell my car. I'm going to sell the I'm going to get a loan. I'm going to do what they've done. I've made some money.
Yeah.
But I'm very open, so people know what I've lost or gained. And with Hex, I actually invested in, and I put about 800 British pounds in, which is about $1,000.
Cool.
And because I put in like 4 or 5 ETH or whatever. No, 8 ETH I put in. It was like Ethereum was like $170 or something at the time, but which is crazy because it was only like a couple of weeks ago. And I made, when obviously Hex has gone up, I know it's dipped the last day or two, but it went up obviously like 3 or 4 times. So what I done was I cashed out my £800. So as of today, if Hex goes to 0, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it, apart from the fact that I'd feel sorry if anyone invested in it because of me. But that's it. That's all. That's the only thing I've got to lose really at this point. If it goes to $1 or something like that, I'll be laughing.
I mean, yeah, it is hard when you realize that what you say has power and influence over other people. But I really do believe in this project more than anything I've seen in the entire crypto space. For whatever credibility 5 years gives me of watching scams come and go, I know it's hard to believe that this one is different, but it's very, very different.
They're all different.
Yeah.
So for people watching, why do you think that this is different? I have my opinions, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on why you feel this is different to all the ICOs that have passed, all the other tokens that have been released.
Yeah, we'll wait for those to trickle in. Mr. Coffee, are you drinking tea? Yes, I am. I get this really crazy anxiety when I drink coffee, so I'm trying to chill on that a little bit. Let's see. Ronnie who? Don't worry about him. Hex business. We don't care about that. 15 years who the would do that. What? I can't read that. Anyway, I can tell you why I like that.
15 years, who would actually do that? You might as well flush your money down the toilet.
Oh, I mean, sure. So Mr. Coffee is Bitcoin a shitcoin compared to Hex? I like Bitcoin too, man. Just because you like one coin doesn't mean you have to hate another one. So I like both. I think the massive advantage that Hex has over anything else is purely the design, the way it was designed, how it incentivizes holding and incentivizes long-term holding, not trading. It rewards the stakers. So it rewards people that fundamentally believe in the project by proving that they believe in it with their actions, right? So I staked for many, many years, and that's my social proof that I want Hex to succeed. And I also obviously want the mad gains associated with it. But it also is an honest project in the sense that it doesn't beat around the bush in terms of trying to market to what you want. Everyone's in crypto because they want mad gains, right? You come for the money and you stay for the technology. So no matter how much you want to deny that you don't want the mad gains or you don't want the money, you're just lying to yourself. Got a question here. Does BitGlenn hang out in the Hex Crypto channel much?
The Telegram group chat?
Yeah, the Hex Telegram chat, yeah.
Yeah, the I've commented on there a few times, but the thing is, what I like about having quite a small knit community, I know the people chatting in it, and I know what their sense of humor is and stuff like that. Whereas in big groups where there's like 20,000 people, if you post something, you're lucky if like half hour later someone might respond to what you've said. So really, I just click on it and I scan. I just look through it and read people saying like it's going to go to $56 an hour. And they make
$1 Hex is the pie in the sky dream right now, and that's because
mate, if Hex went to $1, I'd be over the moon. But you know, okay. So I don't know if you ever talk about this on your videos. What's your price predictions going forward? Sort of like put in a time frame within this long. I think it could reach this.
I think within 2.5 years it could reach $1. I said could, so it's all probabilities. I did not say it will. So I hate price predictions because they're almost always wrong, no matter who you are. And that's all anyone wants to hear. That's what gets the most clicks. If I name this video price predictions with BitGlenn or Hex to $1 with BitGlenn, everyone would smash the button. But
well, that's what you got to do, brother.
That's the thing. You got to balance your responsibility with your actual content. And I'm trying to make entertaining content for you, but I don't want to tell you that Hex is going to guaranteed $1 in 2.5 years. That's where I think it's going to go. And that's where I think it can go based off of the way that I've seen currencies rise and all that, especially if we ride the wave of the next bull market. I mean, anything can happen. It can go to zero tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I've sort of mentioned on my channel a few times that I can see Hex. Obviously, I invested when it was at like 1/10 of a cent. I said, based on the, I don't do any technical analysis or anything like that, but looking at the charts and the way it's going and the momentum that it's building up within this small amount of time that it's been about, I can see it going to 1 cent. And that's all I've said, really. I've said I can see it going to 1 cent one day. And obviously then it rapidly went up to, 6. Recently went up to like, what was it? Over half a cent. And it's just dropped again today, I believe.
Yeah.
It's dipped quite a bit.
It's down to 4/10,000ths, is that? Or 4/1000ths of a penny? Thousands.
Yeah. But then Bitcoin and Ethereum have gone on a bit of a run.
King of crypto, smash the like button. Is this one of your guys, BitGlenn?
Yeah.
I love it. Did you see J.K. Rowling's try to pump Ethereum? Yeah, I did. I love that.
I think that's a fake. Was
that a fake account?
Handle?
Oh shit. Well,
she commented on Twitter saying like, I don't understand Bitcoin. And what made me laugh about that was, rather than people saying it's a money that's online that's shared between everyone evenly all over the world, that would have been a really good story to tell. But people started commenting like, oh yeah, if you get an ASIC miner, blah blah blah, blah. And like really going into depths on it. Oh yeah, this is SHA-5256.
Yeah.
She was commenting like, I don't understand everything you're all saying.
I don't care. Yeah, people have a limited attention span, and they got to peel back the layers themselves. They have to want to learn it. So you start off with simple things like, oh, it's internet money. It's magic internet money. You say something outrageous like that, and then they'll be like,
Someone
"Oh,
who created Harry Potter should get that, surely.
it's wizard money, essentially." It's what they would have wanted. Crypto mom still standing. The reason that she likes hacks is, number one, it's a finished immutable project. That's true. We say that all the time, but nothing else is going to happen in hacks. There's no more roadmap, and you don't need anything else to happen. Everything that's built on top of Hex from here on out is a purely community driven effort. And I love that so much. I mean, it's very reminiscent of early, Bitcoin, and just the opportunity for a grassroots movement to become the next revolution in crypto. Number two, on a reliable ETH blockchain. Yeah, I think the Ethereum blockchain has proven itself to a degree. So it's on the most reliable platform that has the most developers and the best developers on it. It's an ERC20 token, which is a standard that's, it stood the test of time. It's incredible transparency. Yeah, I think you can read the code yourself if you know how the solidity contracts are on hex.win. Richard's pretty transparent about everything. And all of us crypto YouTube guys I haven't seen anybody out there that's blatantly lying about anything about Hex. We all try to be as honest as we can.
Transparent about certain things as long as it doesn't make him a security.
Yeah, well, it's legal stuff, it's and I disagree with the law in a lot of senses of it. And there's so many laws out there that I feel like you can't even walk outside your door without breaking some law that you've never heard of. But how many of these are enforced and all that? I mean, time will tell.
Okay, so I've got a question for you, actually. Oh, sorry. Is she finished?
Oh, no. It's just a couple of bullet points. Written to encourage stability with long stakes. Yep. If you stake longer, you're rewarded for it, and you can't sell. And then it's better than CDs in terms of interest rate. Yeah, sure. And finally, intelligent originator. Yes, we do believe Richard Hart is intelligent. So what were you going to say?
He's definitely intelligent.
Yeah.
I was chatting with someone the other day, and he was really, Hex is a scam. That's it, Glenn. You need to stop talking about it. You need to stop talking about it in a public domain. If you want to invest in it, go for it, but don't shill it or anything. And he that was some really good advice and good points. But I don't know about, obviously, the language between American and over here. What I consider a scam is someone maliciously starting something to con you out of money or some sort of asset. Yeah. So if I said to you, Crypto Coffee, send me 1 Ethereum and I promise I'll send you 2 back. Yeah. Which we've seen many of those in the past. Yeah. That is clearly a scam because I have no intention of
but what if it's Elon Musk and he promises me in a YouTube video that he'll send me 3 Bitcoin back? Then I can trust him, right?
I don't know about. I wouldn't trust anyone with Bitcoin.
Have you seen any of these? They're fake Elon Musk accounts or fake.
Oh, there's loads of them. There's what's the other guy? The guy who's like done Apple and that. That's the popular one at the minute.
One of them was Naval Ravikant. I saw was the most recent one. Some hedge fund guy or whatever.
Yeah, there's loads of them going about, and we saw XRP. They were doing XRP giveaways recently.
Oh, XRP sued YouTube from that.
Yeah, they have
a lawsuit.
They have, yeah. So that is clearly a scam. But if someone wants to, frauding someone, scamming someone, conning someone, all those languages, all those words. I said to him, do you think Hex is that? Do you think Richard Hart has purely created this to gain money out of people that he has no intention of giving them what he promised? And he said, well, no, not really. I go, right, so it's not a scam then, is it? And he goes, no, but I think it'll be deemed a security. And I said, okay, so you're saying then that you shouldn't invest in it in case one day that it may be deemed illegal. So there's legal and illegal. It doesn't mean I think one is a scam or not. Right. There's people that do certain types of trading things, and until there's been a precedent set, someone says, no, actually we don't like the way you went about that. If you do it from now on, then that is illegal.
There's no central party to go after. There's no you can go after Richard, but there's no work expected from him. and it's a finished product that's out there. So I think it'd be a really hard case to make. And
so this was my point. I said, sorry to cut you out there.
Go ahead.
I said to him, you know, so you're saying that it's not a scam, it's not fraudulent at this point. We don't believe. So your argument is whether it's illegal or unillegal or illegal in American law by the SEC and stuff. Will it be deemed as a security? Because obviously he's receiving this ETH supposedly. So I said, what if they come out and they say, no, it's not a security? He said, yeah, then I'll buy it. I said, but by then it'll be too late. That's when it will already be the dollar per token. He said, yeah, but I would rather that. I would rather the security of like, I know, okay, this isn't a scam now. Now I'll invest. And he was talking about Ethereum being 14 cent when he first looked into it, and it weren't until recently he started getting really into it, because now he's like, okay, I can pretty much trust Ethereum's going to stick around for the long haul.
Right.
So I think some people are just, when they say, oh, Hex is a scam, I think that's just a very quick way of saying, I'm not sure about it, and I think this is something's going to happen to it one day.
It's reasonable to have fear about, fear and uncertainty. But I mean, Ethereum, they basically, enough people in the SEC own Ethereum now that they deemed it decentralized enough to not be a security. So all it takes is a large enough network effect to get to the point where by the time they're ruling on anything like that, which will take years probably, enough people, it'll be in the hands of enough people for it to be quote unquote decentralized enough to make it not a security. I mean, that's what happened with Ethereum. So that's a very valid potential outcome. And obviously we can't know the future, but like I always say, I'm just rolling the dice and not going to really think about that for now. And that's the risk that I take on myself. And it's totally my responsibility to take that risk. That's
exactly what I said as well.
That's actually my biggest point of fear and uncertainty, is because I know the least about the law. I don't like the law, and I always pictured them being antagonistic towards the everyday guy, especially in America. I think laws tend to favor big corporations. I mean, how many companies are getting bailed out while every, starving, mother of five gets a $1,200 stimulus check? It's like, it's not really fair. But I don't want to get political or anything like that. It's just a risk I'm willing to take.
Someone tweeted saying really good the other day, and they said something like, next time someone says Bitcoin's a scam, tell them oil went to zero first. And if you invested $1,000 into crude oil, a year ago, and it's gone to negative, and you cash out at that point because you're scared, is that deemed a scam then at that point? No one seems to be shouting, oh, it's a scam and it's manipulated, it's it's massive whales that can manipulate the price, and that no one says that. Everyone just accepts it. Oh, oil's gone down to negative $30. Oh, brilliant. Like, it's insane. And I say to people, look, when you invest into something new, your risk is it's going to go to zero. That is the ultimate risk. That's
risk with everything. It's a risk with any stock. Anybody can, any company can go belly up, or there can be corruption or some kind of collusion among the board of directors. And there can be all kinds of scams out there that are legal, that started off legal or illegal, but there's scams everywhere. It's not just crypto. So no matter what you put your money into, even if it's cash, I mean, God forbid there's a solar flare and everything goes to shit. But your cash could become worthless if all of a sudden now we need food and shelter. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. So people can get mad about it, but I don't think they can try to impose their will to you with what to do with your money. So I told you guys what I'm doing with mine. I'm staking Hex for years. I think it's going to change the world.
How many years are you staking? You don't have to divulge
that. I'm laddered, so my average would probably be around 3 to 4 years. Yeah.
I've set all mine so that they end on the big payday, or just after, 2 days after.
So you're in the conspiracy camp of the big payday dump?
I think there will be a massive dump on that day, because you're going to have a lot of people, especially between now and then, that are going to jump in, double their money, double their hex tokens, and they're going to try and sell them for whatever that price may be. But I don't think I'll sell them that day. I'll probably wait another 3 months after that, because then price will come back, I think, if enough people are interested in the project. So my actual theory, I've got nothing to back this up, no evidence. You and me didn't chat before this, and I've never chatted to Richard Hart personally. I feel that he's taken the model of EOS, and he's going to use that Ethereum to create something maybe special, maybe mediocre, I don't know, but he's going to use that to create something. We don't know what that is yet. And I was listening to an interview the other day, and the way he was saying, he went, I can't remember who it was with, but he was saying to someone, look, I can't tell you what is going to happen to that Ethereum, because if I tell you what it's going to become, you're going to expect a return, which then obviously falls into the category of being a security. So I thought, right, this guy has clearly thought about at the beginning, right, I'm going to accumulate this much Ethereum and I'm going to use it for this, but I won't tell everyone what it is until after the project's finished, I suppose. But again, that's a risk that I'm willing to take, because he seems like someone who, when he starts something, he's going to try his best at least to see it through.
Yeah, and we're not supposed to ask, and we can have all kinds of crazy speculation as to what's going to happen with it.
Or he could run off of it.
Or he could run off and we never hear from him again. That would not kill the project. Hex would still be out there. It would still be a living, breathing thing on the blockchain with a giant community behind it. Although
you're not going to end up being a Trevon James gang. You haven't lost your money, but well, you sort of have lost all your money.
Like, Trayvon James still does not think BitConnect was a scam.
I know. I saw that. Yeah, I saw him chatting with Richard, and I mean, even that. When I first started looking into Hex, and I saw he'd done an interview with him, I thought, no, why him? Why him out of all people?
I just think it's funny because it proves true the assumption that Richard had made, that people that would be promoting otherwise scams now get sucked into Hex, and instead of promoting a scam, they have the attention to promote an honest project. So it's sucking the energy and the mental bandwidth from people that would otherwise be tricked by these other things out there. Kyle is Hex Jesus. Kyle's one of the developers. He might be.
There's a lot being built. I mean, even today, I noticed that Uniswap has just been upgraded to version 2 or something.
Yeah, it's big news.
What does that mean? Do you know what I mean? I haven't looked into it at all. I clicked the blog post, but I didn't get a chance to read it before I came on this video.
Yeah, no, I have an older video where I read the blog post through one time. Essentially, it's you can do flash loans, which helps equalize prices with arbitrage almost like immediately. And I forgot what some of the other big benefits were. There's a more reliable price oracle somehow. So you're going to have more reliable price data that is less prone to be manipulated. And that's pretty important for anything, really. Any other service that wants to input the price data of Uniswap. One of the reasons that a lot of aggregators like CoinMarketCap or CoinPaprika are hesitant to use a lot of these decentralized exchanges as input data for their price aggregation is because they're not reliable and they can be easily manipulated. So some kind of technical advancement has been made in Uniswap v2 that I would just be bullshitting you if I tried to explain it, but apparently it's more reliable.
We like bullshit. We want to hear the bullshit.
I mean, it's all very technical, a lot of jargon. I can read through it later and maybe make a video about it, but I haven't taken the time to really understand it.
No, that's fair enough. I saw that obviously with the Hex on the main page, obviously there's loads of links to different things, and there's so much information. Like, and I've said this a few times now, that I've never seen so much transparency in a coin before. You look at BitConnect and even like XRP or Bitcoin SV, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what the updates are going to be. We don't know what software is being worked on. We don't know who owns the most coins, where they're going, how they're being traded. But with Hex, you can view all of that, and it's insane.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, where else can you look at the order books? And anyone that wants to talk about wash trading or manipulated volume, it's all there. Go look at everyone's unique Ethereum address, buying and selling on a public, open, decentralized exchange. It's all open for you to look at. So I think Hex has more real users than a lot of other cryptos out there. A lot of people, a lot of these metrics can be fudged a little bit. You know, you can send one Ripple to 1 million wallets and claim that you have 1 million Ripple users, right? I'm not saying they did that, but you can go to hex.vision and see a very, very accurate picture of where people's funds are, how many whales are there, how long are people staking for, how many people are emergency unstaking every day. It's a great website. So
I've been blown away, and I tried to understand stuff before I try and talk about it. Let me just plug my earphones back in.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
I don't watch Crypto Wendy. Sorry, man. Is she hot? Coffee can't be paid as he's a buy. Yeah, I'm not paid by the Hex Foundation because I'm a self-aware robot. I thought everyone knew that Hex was just a bunch of bots. The whole community, really. There's no human beings in Hex. It's all robots. Wendy Zero is the hottest crypto. All right, I'll check her out.
He gets a bit excited, King of Crypto, doesn't he?
I like this guy. He's entertaining. You got a good following going on.
I told it, yeah. All the guys in my Telegram group chat, we all have a great laugh. We talk about all things crypto, and people come in, and if they start shilling and being, we just either troll them or ban them. You know, like we have a bit of a laugh with it.
Yeah.
Whereas
once you get so big, it starts to be hard to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I've really appreciated just having a close knit group of people. Actually,
right.
Obviously, being a YouTuber, the goal is to have 20,000, 40,000 followers. But I've really enjoyed the small knit community that I've had and kept. Last couple of years. So yeah, we have a bit of banter, we have a bit of laugh.
Cool,
so with Hex, I noticed the other day the transform page I watched it, right? I was watching it, and something that I didn't like was, and I don't know if this has something to do with how like long it takes to update and stuff like that, but it was at like 10,000 Ethereum. So it was going to be a very good exchange for Hex. And then all of a sudden I was watching it and I was refreshing the page every now and then just to see if it changed. And it went up like maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 10 Ethereum. But then all of a sudden out of nowhere, bam, 6,000. Like just came out of nowhere. And I was thinking, what's happened with that? Like, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, it's a good question. You'll find that the adoption amplifier, you can get a better price some days than Uniswap. But because there's so much volume and liquidity on Uniswap, that's kind of the market price that's become the dominant price basically out of every exchange that we have. And we're on like 24 exchanges or whatever, but Uniswap is really the place to be. If you want to risk the adoption amplifier, it's always a gamble whether or not you're going to get a better deal that day or a worse deal than on Uniswap. But it definitely helps if you use somebody's referral link, so you get that 10% more. It does help you get a little bit of a better price, but you'll find that, you know, whales put ETH into the adoption amplifier to try to match what the price is on Uniswap, so that somebody can't just buy a bunch of Hex on the adoption amplifier and immediately sell it via arbitrage on Uniswap and essentially sell the price down as hard as they can. So, I mean, that was happening in the early days, and now it's not. That's essentially what you're witnessing. Totally valid concern. And I'm not going to deny that there's whales every day that put large sums into the adoption amplifier, but it's trying to get as close as it can to the Uniswap price, which is the real market price.
So that WoW, though, obviously, I assume is, you know, Richard Hart, or someone close to him. Why would they do that? Like, and how long can they sustain that? Keep doing that?
Oh, infinitely. I mean, it was always an option of something that could have happened. It happened in EOS, and allegedly, it was never. Nothing can be proven, right? But when you have a system that is designed like that, where there's a bucket every day, well, obviously, the Ethereum from that bucket can be put back into the same bucket the next day. So it was always an option. I had been following Hex since before it launched, so I was always aware of that option, and I was surprised how quickly Hex grew to the point where that option became necessary to essentially keep things going well. But yeah, that's just what's happening.
That means you will pretty much always, if they're always going to top it up so it matches the same price as what's on Uniswap, you're always going to get a better deal on Uniswap because they're always a bit behind.
Not necessarily. There have been days where they don't get it exactly right, and you actually get a pretty good deal on the AA. I was joining the AA a lot at the beginning because I liked the game aspect of it and trying to figure out, which days might be a better deal and all that. But now I just go ahead and buy on Uniswap. That's what I do now.
That's what I did last night because I put in 1 Ethereum and it came up on Uniswap that I would get 42,000 or whatever it is. But when I worked, the average at the time on the transform page was like I'd end up with 37, and then I thought, if I follow someone's link, obviously with the 10%, I would end up with just under 40. So I'm sort of
So here's a little trick about the adoption amplifier is it's typically 32% below the Uniswap price, and that's because you can self-refer yourself, which I don't like talking about, but you can still do it. So if you click your own referral link.
Yeah, someone messaged me this and they said, Glenn, why don't you just refer yourself? And I was like, how the hell would you do that? And they were like, set up a fake account and all this.
You don't even need a fake account. You can just create your own link and just click it. And then if you control F12 and you go into the cookies on your browser window, you got to make sure that you see your own Ethereum address in the refer section. So in the R variable and in the A variable. So you got to make sure your address is there twice. And then you'll get essentially 10%, a 20% bonus, and then a 10% bonus on top of the 20%, which equates to 32%. So that, if you're going to do the AA, I mean, that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
So you're obviously, are you still buying now? Like we've just had a dip, obviously, the last 2 days. And that's what made me put in that extra Ethereum because I was like, when I've been watching it and I've been watching people in the AA platform getting like 25,000, 22,000 per Ethereum. And then I thought, God, I could get 42,000. I got really excited. And I think even though I've got enough already, I've got about 300,000 hex, but I thought, oh God, that's a really good price. So I bought in and someone commented on my video saying, Glenn, the price has gone up recently. This is before the dip. When's a good time to buy in? And I sort of did a video quickly and I said, right, I don't think I even did a video. I posted it on my Telegram and Twitter. And I said, oh, right, anyone who wants to get in, this is a good time to get in. Like it's just dropped like 20% or something like that. That's a good time to get in. Yeah. And they were like, oh, Glenn's really shilling it now and, really pushing it. And I was thinking, no, everyone asked me, like, when's a good time to get in?
Well, the answer is always, last week was the best time to get in. But we have a dip right now. It's looking pretty good. And what I'm thinking right now is, do I want to sell any more of my Bitcoin to buy Hex? My precious Bitcoin that I haven't touched in years. This is a pretty significant dip in Hex, and I think dips are going to be rare, especially a dip this low. So to me, it seems like a great time to buy. And really my only question in my head for myself, I'm not telling you what to do, no financial advice here ever.
I'm writing notes. Go on.
Yeah. Fucking chat's gonna be like, what? Buy Hex? No.
Sell my house?
Don't sell your house. Well, if you don't need your house, You could live in a shed like Big Glenn. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just live in a shed. Loads of hex.
Yeah, I might either sell Bitcoin or I've got this MCO token locked up that I've been meaning to sell, but it's still locked up. And I really hope that the dip is still there in, I think it
That would be
becomes
a good
unlocked in
thing
10 days.
MCO's been going up, and obviously hex has just gone down. So that
Exactly.
would be a time to.
I'm really hoping that within 10 days it doesn't come back. So I hope the price stays down, believe it or not.
If you start thinking about that, I've been thinking about Bitcoin for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
When I missed the 3,800 mark. So I actually, I learned my lesson because I was trying to time the bottom with Bitcoin. I was like, it's going to keep going down. It's going to keep going down. And then it went back up to 4.5. And I was like, it's going to go back down. It's going to go back down. I'll buy then. And I just kept missing it. And then 4, 5. And then I was like, I think around about 5,000-6,000. No, it rapidly went up to 14, didn't it? And then it dropped back down.
Yeah.
I thought, right, do you know what? Sod all this. And it actually, I don't know about anyone viewing it and watching it, but you get sort of wrapped up in it and you start checking the price of Bitcoin like 12 times a day. Mm-hmm. You wake up to go, like, I don't know about you, but I go for a wee like in the middle of the night, and then you think, oh, I'll just check Bitcoin quickly. And then you think, hang on a minute, I'm checking it at 3 a.m. Yeah. So I thought, you know what? I just set up a standing order every week, buy Bitcoin. I put in £50, which is about $70 in your money, every week through Coinbase. It's instant. And so I don't care if the price goes up or down anymore with Bitcoin. To me, it's just, my Bitcoin balance is going up.
Yeah. I mean,
quicker or slower.
Exactly. And I used to be a lot more like that. I've taken a more laid back kind of Zen approach now where I don't even check the price a lot of the time, but it's hard not to. It's kind of like if I can imagine I'd never smoked cigarettes, but it's almost like the fiending to smoke a cigarette type of feeling. I'm serious. It's like it actually is. Hexologist, I am not giving you financial advice. Neither is Big Glenn. You know that. You know that, Hexo.
Oh, I saw one of these videos today, actually.
He's hilarious. Hilarious.
He's really energetic.
King of crypto. No wonder you need Hex to moon Chicago's a dump. Bro, have you even been to Chicago? You should come here and check it out, man. If you're not broke yourself, there's some pretty nice neighborhoods. Just don't wander too far at night. Glenn, you still missed it. You bought Hex. What?
Yeah, he slates me all the time for not buying Bitcoin more. My goal when I started this channel, as most people do, and I'm sure this will happen again, actually, and he made a really good point the other day. Yeah. He said, my strategy going forward is just buy anything on Coinbase. Like, it doesn't matter. Just buy on Coinbase, because when new people come back into the space again, they're going to go, oh, I can't afford one whole Bitcoin. And that's exactly what I thought. And I thought, oh, look, this fucking Ethereum's only $50 and Litecoin's only $30. I'll buy them. And he's got a really good point. That's what probably people will think again. But so then I set myself a goal of earning one whole Bitcoin. And he always says, have you got that one Bitcoin yet? And I always say no, because I did the mining machines and then I did the online mining. And he's like, Glenn, just stop it. Just keep buying Bitcoin. And after a little while, I caved in and now I listen to him.
That's right. That's right. Here, Chicago's very different from the north is different from the south. Yep, that's true. Chicago's got that CME. Yes, it does. I don't tell people where I live, so I think they're all surprised to learn. Hang on to that precious BTC and ETH and Hex. Not financial advice. Never financial advice, Cabana. Never. It's called gambling addiction. That's trading. Yeah, trading is gambling addiction. Buying Hex is good for your soul. I believe Hex is going to move hard when it bounces, so careful. Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that I've got a few. I just got paid a few days ago. I might just use some of that paycheck. The great thing about quarantine, I don't know about you, Big Glenn, but I'm not spending any money on the stupid shit that I normally would. So it's been a great time to accumulate.
You have that stimulus package thing going on in America, but
that was nothing. $1,200 for the whole thing. Like,
this is it. This is what I'm saying. In the UK, the UK government said, right, any mortgage companies have to give tenant, like people who've got mortgages, 3 months mortgage holiday payment.
Right.
No one's paid any mortgage for like 2 months now, and that's filtered down into people that rent. So if you rent, you give them 3 months off. So, I'm used to spending sort of £600 to £1,000, which is about $1,200, $1,300 a month on my mortgage. So I'm quids in. I'm like, God, I've got in the next 3 months, I've just gained £3,000. And
that's not bad.
All creditors and debit, like cars on finance or anything like that, they're all saying, right, just have a 3-month holiday payment. So my outgoings have dropped £1,500, like £1,500 to £1,800 per month.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so that gave me the money that I would have used to pay my rent last month. I put into Hex.
Amazing. Yeah,
that was the £800, and then I've taken that back out now. So I'm sort of like I broke even from Hex already. So anything else is a plus.
That's right.
So then I'm thinking, what should I do with the money next month that I'm supposed to put towards rent?
Hex is always there for you, Big Glenn. We're always here for you. JD, coffee's never smoked a cigarette, but looks high as a kite. I said cigarette, JD. I didn't say anything else. Chicago has dozens of unique and different neighborhoods. Yes, it's almost like every neighborhood is like a different. It's got a very different feel to it, depending on where you go. I feel like I've gained 3,000 pounds during quarantine. I have been not eating as much as I thought.
I have loads of weight.
Yeah.
We have McDonald's here, like obviously you do in America, but
I fucking love McDonald's.
We have McDonald's over here a lot. Like it's every couple of miles, like and I'm right near my house, and that all shut down. I thought, oh yes, I'm probably going to lose weight now, but I'll put more on. So I can't wait for McDonald's to open back up so I can lose weight.
Get extra lettuce on the Big Mac. It's like having a salad. Coffee. Great point about not spending your money. That's right. It's easy to save. It's easy to be financially savvy when you don't have any temptations. Hey, you gotta love that 3 weeks a gallon for gas. Yeah, it's good, man. It's a great time to buy. And one of the great things about Hex is the unit bias aspect that it overcomes. So it's much more attractive to buy 50,000 of something for $200 than it is to buy 0.001 Bitcoin. That's not cool. Nobody wants 0.001,
Yeah.
I feel like a millionaire.
It plays to my OCD a bit. Yeah. I tell you what it was. I was talking to someone, and he doesn't believe in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency at all. He thinks it's all a big scam and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And he actually works for the bank, oddly enough. And he said to me, we were sitting there eating a McDonald's one day in the car, and he said, so what's going on with your Bitcoin thing? I said, yeah, well, it's just gone up to 8,000. This was 2017. And he said, 8,000, yeah, but you're never going to own one whole one, are you? And I said, and then just that day I was like, I will. And I just set myself that goal. I was like, I'm going to own one whole Bitcoin, and then I'll store it somewhere. I've got my Ledger. I've actually got a ledger-nano S thing. But I've got nothing on it because I thought I'm going to wait until I get my one Bitcoin, put it on there, and then just store it somewhere. So I haven't actually got around to using it. I'm a bit of an idiot. I've left mine's all on Coinbase, I think.
Oh, well, I mean, that's not as bad, At least it's not just sitting in a paper wallet in your drawer or something. I mean, I
do really like Bitcoin, though. I was talking to someone the other day, and I actually said to him, like if you look at Bitcoin of what it is and what it does, there's actually a lot of projects out there that are better, but I think we've all fallen in love with this narrative, and I think that's what the price really is. Like, if someone says, "Why is Bitcoin so valuable?" You say, "Well, it's the most decentralized, has the most hashing power. The guy who created it has disappeared, so we don't know who he is." There's such a I
love that
story behind it. It's such it's a mystery. Whereas we know who owns XRP, we know who makes Ethereum. It's not as exciting, I think. And
good thing we don't know who owns Hex, right?
No one knows who owns those keys.
No, maybe he lost them. Maybe he threw them away by accident. But yeah, no, Bitcoin had kind of an immaculate conception almost, and people like to glorify the story about it, and it is a really great narrative. I always thought it would be a really good movie someday. If somebody made like a movie about the cypherpunks and you could tell a lot of different stories, but all it's good at is storing value and not doing anything else. It just sits there. And
No,
no,
I had to send some Bitcoin from. It was to do with MCO. Actually, I was taking part in their 50% off sale with the syndicate. I don't know if you saw that through the app.
no.
They every 2 weeks they do a syndicate event where if you stake CRO, you can take part in the syndicate, and they were doing 50% off all Bitcoin. So I transferred Bitcoin from Coinbase to MCO, and it must have took 2 to 3 hours for it to send over.
How much were you allowed to buy?
Oh, in the end, I didn't even take part in it. That was the most frustrating. Because the way that MCO, you have to wait until 24 hours before the event to subscribe to it. And then they give you the breakdown of like, this is how much you get if you stake. So I had to wait. I couldn't do research until 24 hours before it. So the day that it kicked in, I was like sending it Bitcoin. And then I realized in the end, for me to get what I wanted, I would have to have staked for 3 months. Something like £3,000 or £4,000 worth of CRO. But CRO, I read, it hits its sort of all-time high just before the event, and then it tanks. And then I was thinking, I'm risking £3,000 to accumulate £2,000 worth of Bitcoin. I was like, nah, fuck it.
I mean, CRO. I have shill links for CRO in my description. If you guys want a crypto debit card, it's not bad. If you want to spend your crypto, I don't know why you'd want to spend it right now. Just if I were you, I would just hoard it and save it. But if you want a cool debit card, click the link for $50.
I've got the Ruby Steel one.
Yeah, that's one I had too. And I also locked up a little more MCO on top of that just to get the gains. And, I'm positive on it, but I'd rather it be in Hex. But I'm also an addict, so don't do what I do.
Well, some of the incentives that they're doing at the moment for the quarantine, I don't know if it's the same in America. And I think it might be actually, because you've got Walmart and that. But they're doing like you get 10% cashback rewards on your grocery and food shopping.
Okay,
and
well, that's pretty good.
Well, and then if you buy the vouchers for that company, so say you bought Walmart vouchers through the app, it sends you an e-gift card. If on certain brands, they double the reward. So some people are getting 20% off their groceries food shopping. In the UK, we have a supermarket called Tesco's. And one of the guys in my group chat, Stephen, he said, Glenn, I'm getting 20% off my food shopping every week.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even realize. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, and you get that as CRO, but then you can just convert it into, say, I don't know,
whatever you want.
Yeah, and then transfer it into your fiat wallet on the app, and then you can go out and spend that 20%. It's not like it's staked for so long. That's what I really like about it.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you are giving your keys over to a third party, but if they're providing a service like that, I mean, I had no idea the bonuses were that high. And if you like getting,
it's only until June, I think. Only got a month or so.
Okay.
Doing it in McDonald's as well. You get
perfect. I'm in.
Sold.
Talk Hex. Love visiting Chicago. What's the best deep dish spot? It's controversial around here, but I would say Lou Malnati's. Lou Malnati's. Check it out. King of Crypto. That's when I'm going in. When are you going in? If Hex goes back to 0.001, so you're going to buy the top? Like, what?
No, he's saying 0.001.
Oh, like of it. Well, yeah, it's already lower than that. Have you guys seen the chart?
It's 0.004.
Oh, it's 0.004. I was putting another zero in front of that in my head.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the chart, though, just so you guys can take a look at what I'm talking about. Hold on a second.
How do you feel about the correlation, or I should say the non-correlation, between the Bitcoin price and Hex price?
Oh, they're entirely uncorrelated.
I've noticed when Bitcoin dips a bit, Hex goes up, and when Bitcoin goes up, Hex drops. It's doing the opposite. Whereas you look at all cryptos, there's 5,000 of them on there. They all follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up 5%, they all go up 3, 4, 5%. If it goes down 5%, they all go down 5%, apart from Hex.
Yeah, I mean, Hex is so new that it takes such a little amount of economic energy to move the price. So you can see on this candle right here, when that right before all that volume, that candle that basically kicked off the giant bull run that you see, essentially, that was one guy that bought something like $1.8 million worth of Hex, and he doubled the price overnight. So that kind of stuff can only happen when a coin is brand new and when there's not a whole lot of value in the coin. So it becomes harder and harder to do as the price goes up. And so anyone thinking about buying now, I always like to zoom out on the chart and just look where we're at. Look where we're at right now. That dip compared to a month ago, looking pretty good. No financial advice, but Firebun, yeah, Oven Grinder is pretty good. I like Oven Grinder. You been to Chicago? I thought you were from the East Coast, dude. Awesome guy. Crypto card is fantastic. Yeah, a lot of people like the card, I guess. I used to use it for a while. But I stopped using it because all I care about is Hex now. And I also realized that I didn't want to spend my crypto. I didn't want to spend it on anything. I just wanted to hold it. But apparently, according to Bitcoin, sorry.
You put your name down for the waiting list for the Hex Visa card.
Yeah, I wish there was one. There probably will be in the future. People are building all kinds of shit on Hex. It's awesome.
So you're quite in with you said there's a Hex Foundation group or something, and you're...
Oh, no, there's no foundation.
Oh, there isn't. Oh, right.
Somebody, I think, made a joke in the chat about am I part of the Hex Foundation? No, there's no official anything. It's all organic, total grassroots, just people doing this out of the kindness of their hearts type of thing. We've got people that I know, just from talking with them before. Firebun is one of the developer guys who made that beautiful chart that you see before you. And Talk Hex was a guy that I had a chat with 2 days ago or 1 day ago. Can't keep track of time anymore. But yeah, we're all just people that like the project, that want mad gains, and we like crypto for what it was for, which was, permissionless, censorship resistant, fuck the government kind of thing. Yeah.
I think the thing that I like the most, and I've said this a lot with lots of things in my life, like I like Apple products just because they work. Like, I don't use them for what they fully can be capable of, but I know when I turn one on and when I pair it up, or I don't even need to pair it, they just connect and everything works. Yeah. And that's what I like. The day that they stop working is the day I get out of the Apple ecosystem. But when I first got into crypto, pretty much the only thing that did what it said on the tin was Bitcoin. You just send money from one person to another.
Yeah.
When you were looking at EOS, Stellar, Cardano, and all these other things, they were all promising these massive things. And I was listening to Chico Crypto. I really like his content. And he was saying on the video, someone said, "Oh, what do you think about this? You were talking about it a year ago." And he goes, "Yeah, they haven't really done anything since I've talked about it." And that's what I don't like in crypto. People are willing to invest in these things that don't do anything. Like they don't even work half the time.
Yep.
And I think even Richard Hart, I think it was IOTA. He used to
IOTA. He loved the shit on IOTA.
He was like,
it doesn't work.
The seeds don't work. The wallets don't work. How's this worth $1 billion? And that's what I didn't like. And when I come across Hex, and like I said to you, I could buy, stake, cash out, and convert into Ethereum and then cash out. I was like, God, this is seamless. It works. It just does what Richard Hart said it was going to do. Yeah. And obviously I'm looking at it like I watched these videos from 5 months ago and then I'm getting into it.
Right.
What he said day one, it worked. It's just worked.
It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. It doesn't have to change the world. I mean, it probably will, but Hex it's just you stake it and you make more Hex later. It doesn't have to be this crazy complicated machine that nobody understands what it does. It's not vaporware. There's a lot of vaporware out there, and all of us in the Hex community were very adamant about the no expectations type of thing. It's almost become a meme within the community, because we do not expect anything. We don't have a roadmap. It's all whatever we feel like building at this point. Hex is out there, and now we get to just do whatever we want with it. So whatever people can imagine is what's going to be built, but we have no expectations from Richard or anybody.
So what do you think about, right? Because for me, investing in Hex was already like a little bit out of my comfort zone because it's, I've just been like, I'm all about Bitcoin now. That's it. So Hex was out of my comfort zone. And then I start seeing these other sites that pretty much have copy and pasted it. And one's like Hex Max. And I think Trevon James has got his own one called.
Of course he does.
Of course he does it. And I actually looked into it, and it was like you stake your coins, but then it converts Hex into some other Hex called Hex 4, and then you lose 30% of it straight away. But they guarantee that you will earn more than the 30% back after 3 months.
I don't like the word guarantee, but I understand what they are. They're just games. They're kind of Ponzi-esque games. They have an hourglass strategy, so apparently you get paid out as long as you enter before other people come in. But the thing is, the other people never fully cashes out to a point where the whole game is destroyed. There are just periods of people losing money and periods of people making a lot of money. And so it kind of flips off, back and forth. I don't really understand the inner mechanisms of them, but I know that they're technically allowed to exist because there's really no laws about them yet. It's a new kind of Ponzi style game. I would never recommend anybody go plays them, but especially because they haven't been audited or anything like that. They could have shitty code and could be hackable, but they're out there because people are free to build whatever they want on top of Hex. So you can build whatever you want. If you want to build a game of any kind, there's a lot of lottery games, which are pretty simple to understand. And, it's just a lottery. So if you want to gamble your Hex away, go ahead. I'm not going to.
I saw that someone's created either a site or something that you can participate in where, say, if I sent him 1 Ethereum, it buys me into every single day of the AA transform page.
Oh, yeah.
An even amount every day, but you're pooling with loads of other people or something like that. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if that's why all of a sudden it just jumps up like 6,000 Ethereum. Maybe that's that collective group of people putting money in every day. But
it could be that too. It could be that too. That could be one of there's several different addresses that send large chunks to the AA every day. And I know there is a smart contract that somebody built if you want a dollar cost average into it, which I think is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's a pretty good plan if you want to set it and forget it, It saves you the time of having to go in there and check every day.
But surely, though, the idea of Hex, and if you're at that point where you believe it, you think, right, this is going to 10x from here.
Right.
The best time to get in, surely, is always today.
Yeah.
Why would you want a dollar cost average in if you honestly, unless like obviously there's big dips like today, but even that, you've still got to go back 2 weeks,
right,
for it to be where it was today. So you're always best to just buy in today.
Right. Well, that's because of the shares too. The share price only goes up, so you're never going to get a better rate of interest if you stake later. And that's like economics 101 too, is that the opportunity cost of $1 invested now is always worth more than $1 invested in the future because you're making your money work for you earlier. So that's a simple way to put it. But there's also this idea of shares within Hex too. So there's a rate at which you can buy shares. And when you stake your Hex, you're actually buying shares and burning your Hex. So your Hex goes away.
See, I've been lost on this because someone put in so in the Hex Telegram group chat, like, I think Richard Hart said something like, people don't understand how powerful the share mechanism of shares of it is. I've just looked at it as like, I've got this many Hex. Once I get past the big payday, that's going to double. So for me to lose where I am today, the price would have to tank 4 times. Do you see what I mean? Because I bought in half of where it is now. Mm-hmm. If the price stayed the same, mm-hmm. I'm doubling the amount of coins I'm getting.
You mean with your interest payment?
Yeah, with the big payday thing and that.
With the big payday. Yeah. So big payday.
Like, if I bought 100,000 Hex today,
Right.
After the big payday, I'll have 200,000.
Okay.
The price stays the same as it is today, say 4.2 of a cent or whatever.
Yeah.
Then let's just say, for argument's sake, to me that's worth $1,000. Then my hex doubles, so now I've got $2,000 worth of hex. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me to lose out, I would need the price to drop 4 times the amount of what it is on that day for me, because even if it goes half the price, I've doubled the amount of coins. Do you see
Yeah,
what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and yeah, that's a good way to look at it, and that's one of the many game theory mechanisms that keeps people sticking around, so they don't.
That's literally like my whole strategy there. Like,
Yeah, because your theoretical break even point is much lower than I mean, then it's not just, when did you buy and how much is it going to be worth in the future? It's how much is it going to be worth in the future plus how much am I going to get on big payday?
Exactly. Yeah, you're gaining tokens and the price is going up, so you're gaining twice.
As long as you're staked on big payday, you have to. That's the only caveat. You have to be staked.
So that's my strategy, because I've already said to you, I assume big payday we're going to have this massive dip.
We might.
That dip isn't more than 80%, then I'll probably still break even from the day I invested in.
That's that's a great point. A lot of people are going to survive the dip if it happens on paper, because it's going to take a huge dip for them to be out their initial principal plus their big payday bonus value. And I think there will be somewhat of a dip, or there's going to be some volatility. I don't think it's going to be, it's not going to kill hex, which is one of those conspiracy theories out there, is that after big payday, that's when the project dies. It's like, yeah, there might be a dip, but it's going to survive. I mean, it's not going anywhere. I don't see it. I mean, in order to crash it to zero, you have to sell all of the hex. And, lucky for us, a lot of the hex happens to be owned by very, very strong hands. So what's the likelihood of that happening? I think it's very, very, very low. But I don't know. I'm just a guy on the internet. So
don't trust the YouTuber.
Yeah. I expect 10,000x straight up, no dips. No, no, Ella. Bad. It's not designed for no dips. It's designed to minimize selling pressure. I created a coin that can't dip. Okay. Are you just trolling? Probably.
Well, that's what that hex max is. They guarantee that it will always be worth more than hex due to inflation or something like that. And I thought this is clearly a scam. But what was interesting actually is the fact that scammers are copying what hex is and making it a scam.
Yeah.
That adds to the that hex isn't a scam.
Yeah, it does, but it also makes it look fishier to some people, because they see people like Trayvon or whatever and making all these games and Ponzi style side things. To me, that's a good sign, because it means that hex is the solid base layer that they trust enough to use hex on top of.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you've got the scammers going, right, we want to accumulate this hex, so if people send us their hex, we'll give them our shitty version of hex, which is hex 4 or whatever they call it. That just that's like what's happened with Bitcoin. You look at Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin God, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, they all copy Bitcoin, but it just solidifies that they're the copy version of Bitcoin,
Yeah, no, you're right. It's dividends, free dividends on your Bitcoin or on your hex. If you want to look at it like that, you're just risking whatever the lockup period is, where you have to lock up your hex for, I don't know how these games work. I think you have to lock up your hex and it pays you dividends. So if you're okay with that, you can go ahead and do it.
But then I suppose if I just call them an outright scam, then I'm the same people that I'm hearing about hex.
Yeah.
So until I do the research, I suppose. But no, it's definitely an interesting project. It's got me excited anyway. it sort of re-sparked my interest back into anything other than Bitcoin, really. Is there anything else that you're looking at closely, or are you just all in Hex?
No, I wish I could be a little more interesting in terms of the general crypto world, but I don't really focus on too much of it anymore other than Bitcoin and Ethereum. I like Bitcoin a lot.
What do you think of Ethereum and Ethereum 2.0?
I hope it works. I mean, it's been a long time coming. I know they've been planning for it for months now, maybe even almost a year. And I hope it's a seamless transition. I know they're going to do it in stages or phases or whatever. So it's not going to be all overnight. But every time you change the code of something so valuable, it's always a risk, right? So every time there's a change to Bitcoin, I get a little nervous because you never know. What if that introduces a new vulnerability that, because all of this stuff is only as good as the code. So I just trust that a lot of smart people are working on it, and there's a lot of eyeballs on Ethereum. So at the end of the day, yeah, we are trusting that the code is going to work out. But I think proof of stake is going to end up being a better consensus mechanism for Ethereum, at least. You're not going to have the risk of miner centralization. And you might have some economic centralization, but it's much, much better than having technical centralization like you have in China. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think they're also doing some other cool stuff with like privacy and some cool functionality. I haven't looked into it too much, but
I was looking into, obviously they're changing it over to the staking platform, and someone was talking about the staking rewards if you own so many Ethereum and if you set up a node and stuff like that. And someone quoted saying like, yeah, you could earn like, I think they said 4 or 5% a year. And I just instantly, I was like, well, I get more than that on Hex now. Like, and there's loads of platforms. They all seem to be jumping on this staking. Like MCO does staking. Yeah. What the other ones? Nexo,
like Celsius, BlockFi.
Yeah, they all do staking of their token that you get in. Yeah, that's
everyone's looking for yield, right? Everyone's looking for yield, and apparently we might be past the point in Bitcoin where you can really get another 1000x. We'll be lucky if we get 10 to 20x on Bitcoin, which I hope we do, but we'll be lucky if we get that. So everyone's looking for where can I park my money and make some more cash on the side, like regular traditional financial products. And so a lot of people are trying to mimic the traditional financial world, but I think Hex is making it way more appealing than any of these other things because the interest rates are they're variable, but it's anywhere from like 12 to 25%, depending on how many people stake. And that's set in stone by the code. I'd rather do that than hand my money over to BlockFi for 6% a year. But
yeah, because you have to hope, one, that they pay that out and that they don't go bust, they don't get audited, they don't get shut down.
Yep.
And you got to hope that if any of that happens, that's the money that you stake, that they send it back to you. You've got to hope all of those things for that. Yeah. Some of them are offering like, 4%, 5%, which is good compared to the banks, but
yeah, man.
Yeah, but I'm really interested in the more. I think Hex has actually taken me down a wormhole of actually looking at Ethereum more. Obviously I've got what I'm happy to have of Hex, but Ethereum I think is going to be huge. I think the next bull run, obviously of Bitcoin, if Bitcoin goes up 10-fold, I can see Ethereum going up 20-fold, 30-fold.
I couldn't agree more with you, man. I was going to say that too. And I hate giving price predictions, but it seems so obvious to me that Ethereum has so much more potential to go up a higher number of X than Bitcoin.
I mean, even today or yesterday, I think Bitcoin went up 4.5%, 5%, and Ethereum obviously was a little bit behind it. And I thought, okay, fair enough. But Bitcoin dropped back down. Ethereum stayed where it was. And I was like, it went up with Bitcoin, but it hasn't come back down with it yet. And I can see that happening, like looking at a staircase up. I can see that happening over a couple of years. So I'm sort of like, now I need to buy Hex, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Yeah, and it's hard because you only have so much mental capacity. So like, I personally can't track more than 3 or 4 cryptos in my life. It's enough for me. Hex and Bitcoin are enough. I don't know about you. I mean, what are you interested in other than Ethereum?
Yeah, I'm the same. I get a lot of people message me saying, Glenn, what do you think about this? What do
Yeah,
you think about that? And people just seem to think, oh, he does videos about Bitcoin, so that must mean he knows everything about every
yeah,
cryptocurrency.
yeah,
And I say a lot of the time, mate, I don't know nothing about that. And they'll say, oh, you're such a noob or whatever. But it's really hard. It's really hard you can look at a project, you can read the white paper or the
Mhm.
homepage and, oh, okay, I understand this. Stellar is competing with XRP. They're owned by IBM. XRP is owned by Ripple Labs.
Mhm.
That's as far as I've gone down the rabbit hole with some of these projects. But then people start talking to me about like, oh, did you hear that XRP are burning this and BSV are upgrading their thing to this? I'm like, no, you
Yeah,
can't. I can't check that many Telegram group chats. I can't check that many white
yeah.
papers. So
Whole
I just
24 hours in the day.
I stick to like a few. So at the moment, I'm really interested by crypto.com. I
Mhm.
think with the rewards, the syndicate, I'm looking at all of that, and
Mhm.
that's very interesting to me.
Yeah,
Obviously Hex is quite a newish thing to me. I know you've been in
yeah.
it day one, but I've only been in it
Well, I
maybe.
was pretty into crypto.com as well. I mean, it sounds like we kind of have a similar path, maybe just a little bit out of order. I'm a recovering maximalist as well. Got into MCO and then Hex. And it seems like you went Bitcoin, MCO, Hex. And, Ethereum is obviously in the background of all that.
Well, yeah, I mean, someone mentioned to me ages ago. It was actually King of Crypto. If anyone's still, I can't see a live chat or anything, so I don't know what anyone's saying. But
Oh,
uh, the he told me about it ages ago, and
yeah.
I looked into it then. But I had to go on a waiting list for the card in the UK. You've
Mhm.
had it in America for ages.
Yeah.
So I put my name on the waiting list, and I didn't hear nothing. And then someone in my Telegram group chat said, "Oh, Glenn, I've received my MCO card, and he's in the UK." And I said, "Why'd you get it?" And I didn't get it, so I had to reapply for it and do the 50 staking coins and all that.
Yeah.
So I've only had it. I think I've only had it about 2-3 weeks. But you guys have had it and we can't deposit money straight to it. Where
Oh,
you can send money to MCO and put it in your
yeah.
I can't do that. I have to use a credit card to buy Bitcoin on the app, then send Bitcoin to the fiat wallet side of it, and
Oh,
then sell Bitcoin for fiat.
yeah, that's not great. It'll come. They're probably working on the features right now.
Yeah, apparently they're going to have the British banking license in June or something like that. So
That's good.
hopefully I can just send money to it and
Yeah.
I can start reaping the rewards. But for me to earn the 10% cashback that I was telling you, obviously I have to trust that their exchange rate of Bitcoin and then back again, back into fiat, because they stitch you over both ways,
Mm-hmm.
is more than the 10% that I would incur of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not.
I'm
Yeah.
playing I'm playing about with that. Someone told me to download Library, the LBRY software.
Yeah, I'm on Library. You can sync all your YouTube videos to library.tv.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that at the moment.
Nah, it's slow. It's kind of clunky, but
Yeah,
hey, like some
I've done a
library
few of
tokens,
these.
mate.
There was D Live, there was Steam It or Steam or whatever it was,
Yeah,
and I took part in that as well, and I didn't like it. You know,
yeah. I was
so this
indifferent.
one I was so skeptical of it. I was like, I'll try it.
What about George said Tezos is a good project? Do you have any thoughts on that one?
I didn't know much about Tezos until I listened to a podcast with the guy who runs Tezo. Like
Arthur Brightman.
he's so clever. Like, and the
He's
way
smart.
that he articulates his stories as well. So like he'll go really in depth into like he was talking about synthetic brains and stuff like that. And but the way he explained it was so simple and it was easy to follow.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he's really switched on. So yeah, it made me sort of like, oh, I have to look into this Tezos. I know a couple of guys in the group chat they bang on about it, but I've not looked into it too much.
Yeah, I got in the ICO, but then I sold it all too early. Sold it at like $1, and now it's what, 3? So
They had a massive pump a couple of days ago, I think.
yeah, I sold it at $1. I'm out, and there's no point in me looking back and thinking about what could have been because I'm in Hex now. That's all that matters.
Talking
Heck,
about Ethereum versus Bitcoin, Ethereum's up 3.5% versus Bitcoin that's only up 0.1. So Ethereum, I think there's big things to come from Ethereum. So yeah, they're like the main ones I'm looking at really. MCO, Hex, Ethereum, and Bitcoin.
cool. I think you'll be set. I think we'll both be able to ride this bull wave to the moon. Listen, man, I gotta take a piss. I think it might be a good time to or take a wee, as you might say. But I think it might be a good time to wrap up. We've done an hour and 38 minutes. So thanks to all of our 73 viewers, and we'll talk about shitcoins maybe next time. I'm sorry, altcoins. I didn't mean to steal the whole show with Hex, but again, that's really all I have that's worth saying. So
I wanted to come on here and chat to you, and that's why I reached out to you, because I thought this guy clearly knows more about Hex than I do.
yeah.
And I just wanted to ask you, like when you, I wanted to ask a few questions about it, like the AA platform and stuff. And I was thinking, oh, no one in my Telegram group chat is that into it. So I was
I'll come in your Telegram and I'll people can ask me whatever they want.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. It's BitGlenn. I assume we'll put a copy of this on my channel, but I'll have in the description my link to my Telegram, Twitter, and everything like that. If any of your guys want to follow me or subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, if you guys want that debit card, click on BitGlenn's link. You both get $50.
50 smackaroonies.
That's right. All right, thanks, man. It's been good talking to you. We'll definitely do it again.
Yeah, it's been fun.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Bye. Bye, everyone.